Hi there, Tori Hallowell here, coming at you live from Facebook. Wanted to talk about judgment and how to release judgment and free up your mind and your awareness and just create more opportunity and positivity in your life. So that's this week's topic. Before I jump into it, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Tori, like I said, and I help young professionals who are feeling disconnected from their careers, who aren't prioritizing self-care, and are headed to burnout and just don't know what to do. If this is you or this is someone that you know, please reach out. Let's connect. And visit my website, hallowellcoaching.com, for more information, including my free resource guide on how to fight burnout, especially if you're headed in that direction. But today we're talking about judgment. And this is when, I noticed that myself, and I was also listening to my clients and to people in and around me, out in the greater world. And I was just listening to how much judgment we as people place on other people, situations, and experiences. And it just really surprised me and took me back a little bit. And then once I noticed this, I started to be more aware of just how often we tend to judge. And so, when you think about judgment and judging others, how is this serving you? How is this serving you in the long term, your life, your expectations, and your goals? And the truth is that it's not. And judgment is something that we have learned, throughout our years, society and our friends and our upbringing, because it's something that's taught to us. It's not something that we are born knowing how to do. And, judgment, when you think of when you judge other people or new situations or experiences, what happens is that judgment really holds us back. It's kind of in cahoots with fear. And judgment is really, just like fear, it's self-protection. And so when we judge someone or something, it's because we don't know the facts, we don't know the whole situation, we're afraid of putting ourselves out there, trying something new, we're afraid of setting ourselves up for failure or to make a mistake. And oftentimes when we judge other people in particular, we are kind of placing our own assumptions, our own interpretations and thoughts on someone else's life. We don't know all the facts. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes in their head, in the background. And so judgment is really a mixture of assumptions and interpretation, story writing that we perceive. And it's fear. It's holding us back. And so when you release judgment, when you come from a place of awareness and observation and just kind of openness, then you are open to new situations, new experiences, meeting new people, building and forging new relationships, and learning something from that, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. And so, it was just really important to think of judgment as self-protection, and that might seem like a great thing on one hand, but really it's holding us all back. And so the main goal of this video is just to help you become more aware of how often you're judging other people and other situations and other experiences. And the first way to release judgment is really just to build up your own sense of awareness of judgment. Now, a lot of times when we judge people, we tend to put a label on things, people, situation, experiences, good, bad, right, wrong, pretty, ugly. We're all about labeling. And how do these labels serve us? Again, they don't. They don't do anything beneficial for us. And so there are two parts to kind of building awareness and then also, relabeling things and kind of removing that label from new people, from situations and experiences. Now, there's a couple ways that you can build your own awareness and observations of how often you're judging people and situations. And the first is mindfulness, right? And practicing meditation. When you practice 10 minutes a day of mindful meditation, what you tend to do is you tend to kind of just let everything go, live in the moment, breathe, let your brain be, but it helps you build awareness. And awareness is one of the first skills you need to be able to release judgment. And as soon as you build awareness of how often you're judging and when you are judging and when the judgment creeps up, once you start to build that awareness, as soon as you start to be aware of how often you're doing this and thinking this way, you start to release the power of judgment. So mindfulness is step number one. Step number two is one of my favorite activities to do with clients, and that's a judgment journal. And this is for clients who are really boxed in and held back by judgment. That brings them into the land of negativity, self-doubt, fear, anxiety. And so if these emotions come up for you when you think of judgment, then I really want to encourage you to do this exercise for even just a week, 7 days. Take a journal, take your phone out, open up a new sheet, and write down every single time you pass a judgment on someone else, on a new situation, or even on yourself. And really starting to write down these judgments, just kind of like with a food journal or anything else you might write about, it helps to build awareness. It helps to reinforce the habit of being on the lookout for the judgment when it creeps up. And it really just helps you notice trends, notice patterns when you start to judge something. Maybe you always judge this certain type of person or this certain type of situation. And when you start to notice the trend or the pattern behind the judgment, that can help you figure out what areas of your life you might need to work on or to spend some more time kind of developing. Okay, so first, mindfulness. Second, judgment journal. Third is just reframing. So when you notice you're having a judgmental thought or you're saying a judgment out loud to someone, if you're venting or if you're hanging out with a girlfriend, and you notice that you are being very judgmental in what you're saying, I want to encourage you to take a second, stop, be aware that you're being judgmental, and then reframe your thought and really ask yourself, what might I not know about the situation that I'm now passing judgment on? Or what might I be assuming or interpreting about this situation when I don't know what's really going on behind the scenes? So reframing the judgment in your mind is a very proactive step to releasing and moving away from judgment. And once you start to reframe these judgments after becoming aware of them, then I want you to rewrite the judgment in your mind, rewrite the story you might have created, and that will help you let it go. And just be aware that when you get caught up in judgment, a lot of times it's tied to fear, anxiety, negativity, not wanting to, break out of your comfort zone. You want to play it simple and comfortable and safe sometimes, and I get that. But how is judgment then holding you back from living a more meaningful, positive, richer life? So I really want to encourage you to be more aware of the judgment that you might be experiencing and placing upon new people, situations, and experiences, and just start to rewire the way that you think and approach new situations in your life and see what that brings you. Hopefully it will bring you more opportunities, more doors are going to open, you're going to feel happier and full of more energy and light, and things are just going to be, bountiful for you in your world. So if this has resonated with you at all, if you are someone who struggles with judgment and you want to let it go and you want to build this awareness, if you're someone who struggles, like I said before, from feeling disconnected from your career or not prioritizing self-care, please reach out. Let's connect. I would love to support you, help you, and work with you. So until next week, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.